Alright, here we go. It is another wonderful morning, and we are just kicking it off in style right now with some fun stuff. I am decently ahead of schedule in terms of my uploads, so I'm doing pretty good there. I think am mostly caught up with my chores too. I have this funny lawn mowing tale that I will save for hopefully the video coming back, because I have already decided what I'm going to talk about on this video, and I hopefully will remember when I get off work to tell you about the lawn mowing video. I think what I need to do is set an alarm for myself so that when I get off work, I can remember what I was supposed to talk about. Because oftentimes, in the mornings like this, when I'm driving to work, that's when my mind is fresh and I can actively remember what I'm going to talk to you all about. And oftentimes I'll come up with an idea at this point in time in my day, and then by the time my 8-hour shift is done, I completely forget what it was I was talking to you all about. So hopefully I can get all that fixed and remedied so that when I get off work, my videos aren't complete trash, because I'm gonna have to rely on my videos now at this point, because I've caught up with myself in uploads, so I'm not behind in uploads anymore. So pretty much anything I make this week is going up this week, and I'm still doing fine and decently ahead of the game. I just need to maintain, and I need to make at least 7 videos a week, but I really ought to try and aim for more than that. The more that I can make, the merrier. And so today I wanted to talk about kind of like parody culture and the idea of getting famous piggybacking off of other people's fame. And I feel like we live in a society, in a culture right now, where everybody is just fighting for the most profitable IP, and rather than create any original IPs, they're just going to keep profiting off of those that are pre-established. And I understand why this is a strategy, because the amount of work that goes into creating or building an audience on an original IP is immense. And so if I'm trying to build my audience off of an original IP and I'm having to start from zero to get anywhere, like, I get why that's an issue. But I also feel like we're, as a society, abusing the IPs that we have at our disposal. And in reality, there's an infinitely many amount of IPs that we could borrow from, but we're just going to stick to the ones that have garnered the most success. And with that creates an entire world of just a general lack of creativity. And I started this morning out watching a video about the stage in YouTube that was focused on musical parodies and like that phase and what happened to it. And I think it's a bigger essay to be made in general, in that I feel like pop music is not as culturally impactful as it used to be. Back then, like, you still had people who frequented the radios, and songs continued to blow up and take over the world, and then these people would parody those songs. But I think as internet radio reigned to dominant, or came to dominance, like traditional radio stations kind of fell off, and now a lot of music is becoming popular in uncommon ways, such as internet exposure. Like, a song can release and become famous on TikTok nowadays and not even hit the radio waves, and it's just a whole different landscape. And I think that's why the boom of the 2010s music parodies people kind of died off, because just the way in which music was promoted and handled changed as well. And now part of this could have been because I myself have stepped away from pop music. Well, I've stepped away from pop music for a very long time. I haven't listened to the radio since probably around 2009, 2010. And I still managed to stay relevant with the music scene for a good while, but I'm starting to feel like now I'm falling off of that scene, and like I don't even know what is popular. And I still listen to modern music by modern musicians, but they may not be the musicians who exist in prominence right now. And so, but that's all to say that like these YouTubers got famous only because of the spoofs that they were churning out of popular songs and musicians. And so it's like they're piggybacking off of the fame of other people, and how does that affect their own fame? Like, when that trend stops, or when those people are no longer interesting, how do you maintain your own success? And I think that largely it just does not happen. You'll have your true fans who will follow you to the ends of the earth, and I suppose you just hope that you amassed enough of them to carry you through life on the success of those things. I'm not certain that that's a bad idea. It's kind of something that I am myself striving for. I want to have my group of core fans who will find Compression Man and latch on to every second that I give them. But there's also the core issue or idea that eventually these things, these phases pass and these things go away. And I have to hope that I'm able to build my own IP that will explode into this monumentous, amazing thing. And that takes time. You look at a lot of the IPs that are relevant today, and most of them have been around for at least a decade, if not longer. I like to look at the ones that Fortnite includes into its content, because Fortnite is kind of the culmination of pop culture right now, especially for youth pop culture. It is defined by Fortnite, and so then these IPs that Fortnite is acquiring to put into their game, which one of them is super popular, and of them, how long have they been around? And I think they have Family Guy in there now, which is funny because Family Guy is not a family show, and Fortnite's a very family show, family-oriented game, I should say. But they are funny animated characters that you can include in Fortnite in funny fashion. But at any rate, Family Guy I feel like has been around since '99, so it's got some years on it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they recently added that, and that's been around since the 80s. I don't know if the comic book started in the 80s or late 70s, but either way, it's got several decades on it. They added Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is probably the youngest thing for that. This silly button on my console keeps lighting up and then stopped lighting up, and I was looking at it for a while thinking that's what it was doing, only to realize that it every time I looked at it, it actually was lit up. So I was like, am I imagining this, or is it coming and going? I don't really know anymore. But at any rate, it's distracting me. And then there's the rain. But so yeah, all the IPs that they're putting in Fortnite are ones that have been around for a while. And like that, I think, comes without saying that it takes time to build any sort of thing that's worth having. And I continually say that, and I've been concluding a lot of these recent videos with that. Like, it took several years in my business life to build me into the position I am today, and it will take several years in my creative life to build me into the creative spirit that I am today. Now, what's interesting is trying to figure out what year counts as year one for creative endeavors versus business endeavors, because it's very easy to define a year, your hire date. As of this date, I started working here, but as of which date did I start being creatively serious? In terms of writing novels and such, my first novel was published in 2020. I would say I started writing it in 2015, and then I've continued writing ever since then. Compression Man's an interesting one because I started it in 2012 and continued it through 2016 for its original run, and then I'm picking it back up again. But it's like I haven't been consistent with it in a while. And so that's where it's interesting to kind of look and be like, oh, so technically have I been at this since 2012, or have I been at this since 2022? And the answer is it doesn't really matter. I think what matters now for me is building a content base, building a platform of content for people to see and enjoy and attach themselves to. And I run into this a lot on YouTube, where a lot of people are struggling because they want to be a variety station. They want to express kind of themselves as an individual instead of a single portion of their interests. And a lot of us are failing to succeed because the algorithm does not know how to promote that. And it's unfortunate. It's like I watched this other guy on YouTube who plays a lot of asymmetrical video games, and he struggles right now because he wants to play other games, but like YouTube will not know how to promote his content because everything that we know him for is these asymmetrical horror games. And so it's the same kind of struggle that we all face, is like trying to be one-dimensional enough to keep your own sanity, because as a human, as a creative, like there's more to you than just one thing. And then also trying to be successful enough and appease the algorithm enough to where you can become successful. And like I've said this multiple times, my goal is not to blow up and be the next biggest YouTube star, but if I could at least make a living on YouTube, as opposed to having to spend 8 hours a day working at a traditional corporate job, that would be ideal. But the other question to ask is, like, do you have to devote the same level of time to YouTube as you do to your corporate job in order for YouTube to succeed on the level of the corporate job? Like, I have to spend at least 8 hours of my life a day in this corporate job. versus YouTube, where it's like right now I'm spending about 40 minutes of my day on YouTube or working on my YouTube related things and then kind of moving on from there. And so it's interesting for me to try and see and to understand a little better like what the time commitment is, because I know a lot of people who just quit their corporate working job and joined the YouTube workforce, and it worked out really well for them. I think desperality there plays a lot of factors in it, and that you're desperate to get somewhere, so you're more likely to succeed, because if you don't succeed, you have nothing. And I don't have that. I have a great level of comfort in my life presently, and I think that might be working against me, but it also gives me some unfair advantages in that I can tap into some legit marketing strategies that most people otherwise could not. And so hopefully I can use that and leverage that to my advantage, and to start gaining some traction as a creator in a way that I haven't been able to do yet. And I don't know for certain what I need to be doing and how I need to be doing it, but I do know that I certainly want to be able to continue to grow on this platform and hopefully make my own impact. The level of success that Joel Haver has is my measuring bar of success on YouTube. Like, if I can reach the level of success that he has, I will be very satisfied. And like, I have to factor in the fact that like, he has been making a lot more content than I have. He was making shorts just about every week. I feel like he was making weekly shorts, and they were hilarious and fun. And being able to churn out that much content is definitely something to take notice on. And I feel like in my current state, like the animations that I'm making, I would not be able to churn them out that fast, primarily because I'm hiring it out. I'm not animating these myself. And so as such, it takes a good chunk of time to get them turned and burned and going somewhere. So I don't think Compression Man will really take off until I have a solid amount of episodes behind me, under my belt, whatever you want to say. But either way it goes, I still feel like it has a good chance of succeeding. Where books are a commitment. Someone once said this, and it's something that I've always realized, but sometimes hearing things from certain people makes it hit harder than when you realize it yourself. But reading is a commitment. People have to make a commitment to read anything these days. And the world is full of people who are not willing to make that commitment. So, what do you do if you're a writer? You could go the route of audiobooks, which I think is the popular route to go with written material, which I'm fine with doing. They just take a long time to make. Or you could go the route of, well, I don't know that there's a more convenient route. I don't know if I had something else in my head. But as a writer, someone who writes novels, like, if I want to appeal to masses, I need to get people what they feel is a convenient way to digest my material, which is audio. I think maybe what I was getting at was the audio-visual content that needs to exist, that I need to lean my popularity on. And I think that I will be able to do that. I just need to give it time and have patience and allow it to become something that is hugely popular and successful. So I thank you all for stopping by, as I usually do. And I hope that today's conversation was interesting. I feel like I got a little off topic. I was supposed to talk about the issue of IPs in the world today, but instead we kind of delved into something else. But either way, I think it was a good discussion to have, and I thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.